Yeah, Tuesday night, lights low, sparks fly. War report after dark, better fall in line. From WWE to TNA, AU to Spark. Vince the Prince from the Northeast set it off in the dark. OG Steve led the charge. Cat Al, Eric us, 9 p.m. Eastern. Acknowledge the ring, acknowledge us.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark on the final stretch on this road to WrestleMania. God, I love this time of year.
Yeah.
Bring back the old school Mania music.
Exactly.
But anyway, you know, every week we say the same shit. Oh, we have so much to cover and this and that. And it doesn't change. Like, I don't even know where to start. Because there's some heavy-duty shit that went down on SmackDown, but I can't get the Obafemi promo out of my head. And last week, I said I really do think that Brock is going to go over, and after last night, now I don't know again. I mean, that promo, if you think about it, that's the first promo he's really cut since moving to the main roster, number one. Number two, he cut that promo to Paul Heyman with Triple H standing behind him. So you have the most amount of pressure humanly possible. And if there ever was a Grand Slam home run of a promo, it was that one. Like, dude, he's so confident. Like, he believes every fucking word he says. And he delivers it with such confidence and such realism that nobody can sit there and say he is not the ruler. Like, fucking, like, I don't get goosebumps very often from a promo, and I got them with Obafemi. And it got me excited for this match. Yeah. I really, like, I'm excited for all the matches, but I really could give a shit less. Like, Oba Brock is the match for me.
I said it last night in the group chat, and I was kind of joking, but kind of not. If Obafemi doesn't win this match, straight up Triple H is racist. That's just what it is. No, it's, dude, I watched that promo, and, like, I've been down on the build to this WrestleMania. You know.
Everybody has been.
Like, everybody has. But the one shining light of it all is Brock Oba. And a lot of it's Obafemi, because this guy is fucking awesome. We have him hidden in NXT for a couple. Like, I understand maybe he needed to train and get some experience, but I mean, like, goddamn.
Listen, it's okay if it took this long. Like, they pulled the trigger at the right moment. Like, maybe he needed the time, I don't know, but whatever they did right. He's so
this
good.
This promo that he cut, it reminded me of, like, any movie where, like, like Braveheart, right before the battle, and he's, like, standing in front of a bunch of guys on horses, and he's, like, giving a speech. Like, he gave that speech like he was in a movie. It was very theatrical. It was, like, the way he speaks, the words he chooses, his accent, the whole thing. He doesn't... He picks his words very carefully. He doesn't ramble. He doesn't rush. He says it very precisely and slowly, and he says exactly what he wants to say. And then, dude, this guy... the delivery.
The delivery is sensational.
And it complete, because the look with the beads and thing and the ooh, and the whole thing is just a great package. When you look at a guy like that, you think in your head, he probably can't cut a promo, because all the big guys are like that. Except him. He's fucking awesome.
I feel that we could potentially be looking at the longest undefeated streak in the history of a wrestler's professional career outside of Andre the Giant, because I think he was like undefeated till God knows whenever, right? So I think we might get like, no lie, maybe like at least 2 manias of this guy, and I'm not talking about obviously this one. I'm talking about like 2 manias for him to like even lose. Like I think once he gets a title, whew,
I don't know about the whole undefeated for, like a Goldberg length of time, but what I
Right.
will say is there is no doubt in my mind that he is not main event of WrestleMania next year. Without
Has to
question.
be.
Has to be.
Has to be.
The entire year has to be built around Oba Femi.
I mean, you could arguably say there's 2 guys from that bucket that could be,
Oba Femi and Trick Williams.
of course, like that's another guy, but
Well,
yeah,
I think
Oba,
Trick
like,
Williams is going to have a solid mid-card run. I mean,
First.
I don't see Trick. I think Trick leaves as champion at Mania.
yeah, 100%.
So I think he's going to have a solid mid-card run, but he's definitely a future world champion for sure. For sure. He's another one. Like you look at somebody like Trick and Oba, it's like the aura feels that you get from Roman, which you don't get very often. And now, right off the bat, we're getting 2. I mean, they are just great.
Yeah, it's. I was just looking at him. It's like, first of all, you're going head to head with arguably the best mouthpiece ever in the game. You go toe to toe with him. And for me, I don't know about you, but Heyman said something that gave me like a glimpse to the future, as if Oba ever became a heel, that they might get together, which was kind of awesome. I don't know if you guys caught that. He said, I forgot the exact verbiage that he's been. You know what I'm talking about, right? I see you shake your head.
He said he alluded to it, Heyman, but then Oba was very quick to say, you can close that idea right up. I mean, here's what I will say. Like,
he's the face.
I'm okay with anybody that ever pairs with Heyman, because Heyman is just great, right? But I think Oba proved Monday he doesn't need a mouthpiece. Like, he is excellent on the microphone. He doesn't need Heyman.
Keep in mind, mouthpieces aren't always about I can't cut a promo. It's about the heat, right? Like, CM Punk didn't need Paul Heyman either, but yeah, they were a great pair.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
What's his name? Ric Flair didn't need Mr. Perfect, and they were fucking awesome together.
Or Bobby Heenan.
Or Bobby Heenan, for that matter. Yes,
that's true.
For right now, I think it's a good idea to keep him by himself. But yeah, if he turns heel, like, there are some guys, like you said, that don't necessarily need a manager, but the fact they have a manager makes them a heel. Or like, that's the thing, they sign with this manager and now they're a bad guy.
That's how they get the booze.
Right, because otherwise people are just going to cheer this guy.
Yeah.
And I think they should. They should. And part of me wants Oba Femi to have an entrance with like 100 other like extras, all with like shields and swords and spears, and they got like war paint on, and they're all doing the thing. They're all like slamming their swords and their shields to the ground, and he's walking, and he does the walk, and they all follow him doing the walk, and it's just like a big army of people. Oh my God, I would love to see that.
I mean, he definitely needs to have a special entrance. The only thing that's going to suck, and I alluded to it last week, because of what appears to be the time of that match and where the venue is, it's going to be light out. And I feel like Oba, to have the full effect of his entrance, It needs to be a little dark because you got all the lights and the lasers, and like you're going to lose that whole effect.
I'm having deja vu. Didn't you say this last week? Somebody said that last week.
Well, yeah, that's what I just said. I said I alluded to it last week, but this just proves my point. Like, here, Vince is creating, which in my head looks like an amazing entrance, but is it going to lose some of the effect because of what I said last week?
Well, and we talked about it. We brought it up a couple times. The Undertaker Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania in California. It was still light out, and like, you got to push that match back, dude.
Well, you could go as far back as WrestleMania 9 at Caesars.
Yes.
They had The Undertaker with a crow come out, which was awesome, but it was, fucking bright as can be outside.
It was like, you know,
It just-
4 in the afternoon or whatever it was.
Right, like how dead does the dead guy look? You know,
I can
I'm-
tell you this much. Going back to SummerSlam, which I was there, obviously.
Rub it in.
Even just the regular entrances don't look the same.
Yeah.
You know, because you know you're waiting for the pop compared to the nighttime when you know somebody's song comes on. It's amazing. You know, like everything lights up and you know the music
Right.
pops. So it's definitely a different feeling. It feels like you're doing a carnival wrestling show more than anything else. You know.
See, but that's the thing. Like, you wouldn't have that in an enclosed. You know, when it's in a stadium, that's
Right,
where you
right.
lose a lot of that. But when, you know, because then it doesn't matter. You could do it any time of the day.
Well, you can have an enclosed stadium like the Cowboy Stadium or something like that.
True,
And,
but
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
can tell you, like, I went to WrestleMania there, and because the weather was nice, it was open. So, you know,
See, I would always keep it closed for a WrestleMania. I think that's a party foul.
yeah,
The,
they had it open.
The Superdome just has a dome. It's not retractable. So the 2 WrestleManias I went there, and the Superdome's huge. That fits like 70-something thousand people. It's 60,000, I think, 60-something thousand for football, and then 70-something thousand for wrestling. And it's huge, and it was all enclosed. And even though it was light out when you walked in, as soon as you got into the seats, it was the same. It was like sitting in your, you know, whatever arena you were.
Right.
You know,
Like,
you went to
going-
for Raw.
That's the reason why I'm also not a fan of outside wrestling, right? Because going to a wrestling match should be like pretty much going to live theater, and theater
Yeah.
is always watched in a dark environment, right? To make the lights and everything pop out and make everything look bigger than life, per se. Which that's the reason I don't like them really. The only thing I've ever liked outside was that WrestleMania in Caesars back in the day. That's because it's a classic, right? That's the only reason I like that. But outside of that, and I was a child. Outside of that, I'd rather my shit indoor.
Yeah, I mean, the few exceptions are like if it's a show, and this is why they can't really do it on the East Coast, unless it's the summertime. If they have it on the East Coast and they start the show at the correct time, it'll be sunlight for an hour or two, and then by the time your main events come around, it's dark. So you probably had that at SummerSlam. We
Yeah.
had that at MetLife
Yeah.
at WrestleMania, and that's cool because like the pre-show is light, and the first match or two is the sun. You know, you see the sun start setting, and then by like middle of the show, it's completely dark. You're like, oh, all right, we're here.
Thank God, because it would have been awkward watching Charlotte fly in on a helicopter in daylight. Like, it looked so much cooler at night, but it was also, I mean, that match started at midnight? Like, it was crazy.
Oh my God.
I didn't get home till like 3:30 in the morning. I think even 4 a.m. It was crazy. Getting out of there was a bitch. But anyway, so Take Home Raw overall, I thought was a home run. It was a great Raw. The Obi promo stole the show for me, for sure. All right, I got to ask about this music video. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Liv is hot. Everybody knows it. I'm a big fan of Liv Morgan. What's up with the music video? I didn't get it. Like, it was hot, it was sexy, it was Britney Spears-esque, okay. What's the point of it, though? Like, it's so fucking weird to me, because...
I guess that's her new music.
Is that going to be your new theme song? Because I'm not thrilled with it. But the other thing, too, is, like, you show that, and then the next segment, her and Stephanie have that melee, and Liv just transforms to, like, ultra psychotic bitch, which was amazing. I don't know. The whole thing's just weird to me. I don't. I mean, I guess if that's how you're going to debut her new music, but that's what we're doing now, music videos?
Well, I wonder if she wants to get into music, and they were like, "Oh, well, we'll produce it for you, and you know, make the music video and all that, and then we'll put it on the show." Rather than like her trying to reach out to, you know, like another producer, like straying away from WWE. They'll just be like, "We'll do this all in house for you."
I didn't get it.
I mean, I don't get it either. This is not the time to do it.
But I will tell you, I am enjoying the build with Liv and Steph Vaquer. I'm loving everything about it. I think the match is going to be great, but I do think Liv is going to go over. I think it has to be.
Yeah,
Liv, right?
it's time. It's time for her to go over. I'm sure. I mean, look again.
Either that or you have Dirty Dom turn and join Stephanie Vaquer, but that would just be weird.
She didn't lose her belt, so she needs her belt back. She needs to finish her run. That's why I think they should put it back on.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think that she had something going there, and then she got injured.
Kathy Kelly took a bump.
Yeah,
her first bump.
Is she going to be getting?
They say she'll be all right. I've heard rumors of that for a while, but who the hell knows? Who knows? Raw, you had the Usos and LA Knight versus the MFTs. Okay, I mean...
Thank God they went back to the old song.
Well, no, they changed it. Now it's not just me Us, now it's us Us.
Yeah, but
they got a lot of backlash for the change, and they right away... but listen, it shows you they do listen.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done it anyway.
They probably just out, like, let's see how we get it across with this. Then they saw the things, they're like, nope, backup plan. It's just us Us.
Yeah, it's so much better. Because that way the crowd can still yeet with them and,
Right.
Rollins attacks Gunther. I gotta tell you, I still don't care. Like, I really, like, that match to me, I really could care less.
More excited about that match of what happens afterwards than the actual match.
Yeah. And then I find it very interesting. And now, I mean, it's safe to say, everything is booked and finalized, right? But you've got no Tiffany Stratton on the card. You've got no Io Sky. You have no Asuka. Like, these are names that had pretty big roles in last year's Mania. And what a difference a year makes. And now neither of them are featured on the card. Amongst a lot more, of course. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Especially those three.
It's a strange situation because at one point, several months ago, maybe November-ish, you started hearing that there was going to be 8 and 8 for WrestleMania. 16 total matches, 8 each night. And of course, with injuries and different things happen, we're down to 13, 12, somewhere in that range. So a lot of stuff ended up getting cut. And I wonder if it was just because they had to spend so much time figuring out ways to pivot around these injuries that it was just easier to cut a couple storylines leading into WrestleMania. And now what it seems like to me is the Io thing, the Asuka thing, all that, maybe even Tiffany Stratton, they are pre-planning and setting up for Backlash. And that the Io Asuka thing will be on. Because Backlash, I think, is 2-3 weeks after Mania? So
it's very quick.
Yeah.
The most insignificant pay-per-view in the history of pay-per-views.
Yeah, I agree with
that. It never was that way. Backlash used to be a couple WrestleMania rematches and like the literal backlash from WrestleMania. It was like, oh, all this shit happened last month, and here's where we're going with it. And now that's like it's not really the same.
Right. How do we feel about the Roman CM Punk promo?
Weird.
Right?
For me.
It was weird. I agree with you.
You've been talking about him, and now
like CM Punk all of a sudden now apologizes sincerely. Like, now we're apologizing to each other, but we're still telling each other how much we hate each other. It was very weird. Very weird.
I don't know. I think they tried to switch it up in a different angle, and it didn't go. I mean, look, it's still a decent promo.
Oh, it was a great promo. It's just weird.
It was just weird, correct. It was just a weird promo. I didn't think that was the angle they were going to go. I think it was going to be more taking insulting to another level.
Or they could have started here. I respect you, this and that. And then the next week is like, well, I respect you, but you're a part-timer. Oh, I respect you, but you're old. Oh, I respect you, but your family's dead. And the next thing you know, they're having a big brawl by the Raw before WrestleMania.
Right. And the
They kinda
respect
did this
turned
shit.
into hate.
Right, they kind of did the shit backwards. The hate turned into respect. And it's like, well, maybe they should have respected each other at the end of the match, not at the end of the promo right before the match. And there's also, I can't call it an issue, but maybe I should call it an issue. It's just a fact that traditionally leading up to WrestleMania, you'll have these guys in main events, multi-man tag matches, whatever. Maybe they'll even be on the same side in the tag match. Who knows? But like there was always like wrestling leading up to WrestleMania. And none of the main event guys have fucking wrestled leading up to the show.
Well, I mean, you've had some melees that they've pulled apart.
Right, but none of them have had like CM Punk is wrestling in the main event. It's like,
Well, you know what, too? I mean, if you think about it, I think they're playing it safe. They've had so many injuries leading up to Mania. Why risk the chance of anything getting screwed up going further? So maybe they
Yeah.
just chose to play it safe and just do promos and these melees and breakups and stuff just to make sure that nobody gets hurt.
Like, you could even throw that as a storyline if you wanted to, honestly.
Yeah.
And people would understand it because it's like, hey, man, a lot of injuries out there.
and that could, they could have even tied that in. They could have Adam Pearce come out and say, hey, listen, we've had a lot of injuries. You fans have seen this. So-and-so's out, whatever. To ensure that our WrestleMania main events go on as planned, I'm making the decision as general manager that these guys are not going to wrestle until their main event match. And then institute, one of those, they can't touch each other things or whatever. And then, of course, it always leads to a brawl. It always should lead to a brawl. But I don't dislike the idea of what they did. I just think it wasn't the week to do it. Like, you should be leading into this is the main event of both nights. This is the Sunday night main event. They should have had fireworks at the end of that Raw to really sell it and go home.
They should have ended. They should have switched it.
Yeah.
They should have had Oba close the night with that promo. And have CM Punk Roman the segment before or one or two before. But you should have closed the show with that promo. Like, that's how it should have gone off the air.
Well,
with Heyman just looking defeated.
Question, though, how do you do that with having the main event of both nights in the house?
Because you could...
Unless you open with them.
Because you can consider Oba Brock a main event.
You do consider it, but not the main event.
It's not but people know that it is a main event. Like...
they could have opened with Roman and CM Punk, I think.
They could have opened the show with that. That's true.
And then would have let Oba finish it the night off. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that would have been a nice little switch. But again, it's your main event program. So you want to lead with, if you're going to close your Raw and really sell the main event, you got to go with your top guys, Roman and Punk. Yeah. So I understand why they did it, but it's just, it was just an odd.
It was flat. I wouldn't say bad. It was flat. And
that's just kind of been WrestleMania this year. And the injuries and all that, sure. We've talked about it ad nauseum, that plans changed. But I remember a time when plans changed in the WWF or the WWE. That was when they were the most creative. And they were like, okay, this guy's injured. How are we going to pivot? And the next thing you know, Triple H is injured. So, Mick Foley has to step up. Or Stone Cold's injured, so The Rock has to step up. Whatever it is, there was always a way to pivot. And this year, it just felt like they said, no, we're going to change what we need to change, but everything else, we're just going to keep plowing forward. And then
but I also feel like even some of their pivots wound up getting injured, and then they had to...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the amount of injuries was just mind-blowing this year. So, but But I want to kind of touch base, go back to SmackDown. Royce
Yeah.
Keys made his debut.
Hey,
It was good to see him finally get a match. He looks good. We'll see what they do with him. I mean, obviously, he's a major babyface. I think they're working on a documentary for Netflix on him, and that's why they keep showing all these vignettes with, like, these interviews with him. His story's real, though. His story's, I mean, listen, I'm rooting for him, so we'll see what he can do. And then, of course, we had the Pat McAfee promo. So, that's another weird one.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of what he said made no sense. Like,
And
the product sucks. Don't watch Sunday. Only watch Saturday. And if you do, I got Ram to knock off and do 25% off tickets. Like, that's going to move the needle? A week before Mania? Like, yeah, that's going to work. I'm going to still spend $3,000 to hop on a plane, get a hotel, and then stay and pay full pop for Sunday. But then you're telling people not to watch the product. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. I think it almost seems to me like McAfee's not comfortable with the whole thing and that he's being forced to do this. I don't know. I keep going back to the same thing that I said last week, which this is a feud that just didn't need anything extra. This was a 4-star quality match without the insert of McAfee or Jelly Roll or anyone else. And I get it. You're going to set up a tag thing for Backlash. Fine. I like Jelly Roll. I like, whatever. But in terms of this match, it didn't need anything. McAfee just cutting a weird promo.
Steve,
The only thing I will say is that when it comes down to the match, it's still going to be Cody versus Randy, and it's going to be a great match. And I just hope Randy goes over. Yeah.
the one thing I do think that this rivalry was, I agree with you, but I do think there was one thing missing, and that was getting Randy Orton to get booed. And I think this is the only way they've really found a way.
No, but that's just it, though. I don't think they're booing Randy. They're booing McAfee.
Well, they're not. Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's... Yeah.
there's a conspiracy theory on the internet right now that they are intentionally booking this story poorly as a way to get people to boo Randy, because they knew if they just did a straight up wrestling whatever thing, that Randy was getting cheered because it would be like his 15th or 16th world title, whatever it is. And they wanted Cody to get cheered. So the conspiracy theory is literally, hey, we're going to write a story that's so bad that people are going to boo Randy Orton.
See, but here's the thing. I
And
think...
cheer Cody because he's the one that's speaking up going, this storyline sucks. Go home, Pat McAfee. And everybody's like, yeah, he sucks. And it's like, but the same writers that wrote the story about Pat McAfee coming in are the same writers that are telling CM Punk and Cody Rhodes to say that Pat McAfee sucks. And why is CM Punk even involved in this? It's not even the same fucking main event. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it made no sense. I just... It's just so weird to me, the whole thing. And like, I like McAfee wants to bring back the Attitude Era. Like, okay, maybe this will lead to an edgier product going forward after Mania, right? Like maybe, right? But you still have sponsors. Like, that's always been the issue. So I don't know. Like it's just very weird. Like But now here's my other question. Let's say the reveal was somebody else, not McAfee. Let's say it was The Rock or Ric Flair or another like big name. Would it have made a difference? I don't think so. Like I go back to the match didn't need anything.
I agree. It wouldn't have added anything, but I feel like the response to somebody else, anybody else who was like a wrestler being involved on either side of this or having a history in the wrestling business, sure, it would have gone over poorly.
Maybe it would have made more, like, if it was Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game, it probably would have made more sense.
or just anything wrestling related. It doesn't make sense that a Grammy award winning singer,
Kicker.
rapper, and then an NFL kicker are the main draw. Like, what? Why are they the attractions of WrestleMania?
Well, Jelly only ties in because of his relationship with Randy and Cody. So that's where, it kind of makes sense. McAfee came out of left fucking field.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Even if it was just Jelly Roll 1 week caught an RKO from Randy Orton, and he's friends with Cody, and then that is like a reason Cody is mad at Randy. Sure, that's fine. But to base like a good chunk of the WrestleMania storyline on the fact that Cody Rhodes' good personal friend Jelly Roll keeps getting his ass kicked by Randy Orton, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is just, yeah.
And you said it earlier about Rollins and Gunther. And you said it about Cody and Randy. I don't think the match will be bad. I think once the bell rings, these guys are professionals. They know what they're out there to do, and it's WrestleMania. You always crank it up a little bit for the big events. But there's something about anticipating a WrestleMania match in the weeks leading up to it. And even the night of, you see that video promo package. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe this match is happening. Now we're just like, all right, I'm not excited about it, but I think the match is, let's see what happens. Like, that's our feeling right now, rather than like, oh my God, I cannot wait for XYZ. The only one we're talking about like that way is Brock Oba.
You're not wrong. Danhausen made his in-ring debut against Kit Wilson. Let me tell you something. Danhausen is absolutely fantastic. It's just, it's like theater with him. And I'm okay with it. He's a new age R-Truth. They've been doing segments with them together, which is everything. But the cursing, rising like the Undertaker, cursing Kit in the corner. The best part of it, when the firework went off, even Danhausen looked surprised, which just made it even funnier. You're making faces. You don't like Danhausen?
I get it. I get what's going on. I just am also like, I don't know. Part of me is still like, this is a wrestling show, and this is just a little too 1987 WWF superstars for me. Like, I don't know. It's just, it might be one step over the line of the silliness that I enjoy.
And ironically, Vince, that's why I like it, because it is 1980s cheesy, but it's that one guy. It's not like
it is just the one. That's why it's not like super offensive.
Listen, not for nothing, we still pop every time Santino pulls out the Cobra. Yeah, right? We pop every time R-Truth says and does something fucking stupid. So what's the difference with Danhausen? You know what I'm saying? He's so funny.
I love him.
I love him.
I think he's great. I think it's the right spot for
where he came. Where he came out and the way they brought him out.
Yeah.
I thought that sucked, but he bounced back so great after that. I fucking love it.
Well, and he played right into it too.
I didn't even like him that much in AEW. I guess I didn't pay enough attention.
Well, to be fair, you didn't see him very often on TV in AEW.
And they don't do the kind of stuff in AEW like WWE does, where there's a lot of like backstage skits and like supernatural stuff. They had Aleister Black for a little while, but like that was about as spooky as they got. Like they really didn't get in. He kind of stood out in not a good way amongst the AEW roster. It's like all of these like pro wrestlers and then Danhausen, and it was like it didn't click the way it should, which is fine. That's just what it is. It's a different style, and he's much better off, now for sure. I also think AEW was doing it didn't do AEW any favors to have.
I'm sure he's
anyway.
I'm sure he's a big merch seller, right?
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons they got him. He had good, he has a good social media presence. He's a merch seller. He's very popular. The scuttlebutt is that he's not exactly Harley Race in the ring, and AEW. That's kind of what they are looking for. They're looking for like elite pro wrestlers. Whereas with WWE, you can be a cartoonish sports entertainer and still get over.
Right.
All right, so we're a little more than halfway through the show. I think it's time now that we go down the card, and let's give our official picks
Here we go.
Yeah.
for night 1 and night 2. Also, keep your eyes out for promotion, but we will be doing a special podcast on Sunday at 1 o'clock, which will be the recap of night 1, which will lead us into night 2. So please join us like you do on Tuesdays. And of course, we'll chop it up and put it out there too. All right, so night 1. We got Logan Paul, Austin Theory, ISHO Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight. I think I'm going with Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed.
Agree.
Oh, you think the heels go over?
I do.
Yeah,
I show
probably.
Speed's gonna be there. Yeah.
I think ISHO Speed gets the pinfall.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
crazy.
the funny part.
The only reason I kind of agree with you, because part of me is like, oh no, well, if they're opening the show with this, they should have the baby faces go over. That's just like the pro wrestling promoter 101 thing. Hot match, fast paced, baby faces go over. Everybody starts to show off happy. But, and we didn't really talk about this on the Monday Night Raw recap, they are now saying that LA Knight is an honorary Uso. And a couple things. One, he was just feuding with these motherfuckers. And two,
It's true.
anybody who gets the nickname Honorary Uso, I hate to tell you, doesn't work out very well for them in the end. So maybe you're right. Maybe he ends up, LA Knight ends up getting a double super kick.
I would actually be okay with LA Knight turning heel,
If he like abandons them or something, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Tara says she goes with Usos and LA Knight for the win.
I'm leaning towards that, but you guys make a good case for it, for the heels going over. So, I don't know.
Right. Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre. I got to go with Jacob. Jacob's got to win, right? Jacob's got to win.
You would think so. I mean, why? What does Drew have to gain after losing the belt to win this?
That's the thing is like Drew, if they were like, oh, we have a plan for Drew, then Drew should win, and then Drew should do whatever he's going to do through Backlash and the rest of the summer, in terms of like maybe getting a title back or whatever. But it seems like once again we have pulled the plug on whatever push or whatever it is championship reigns of Drew McIntyre. I am also, along with Tara in the comments and everybody else, picking Jacob Fatu to win this match.
You know how they always say, never bet against a Flair? With McIntyre, you never bet on him because he usually loses.
Even the match that he won the world title in, I'm like, there's no way he's winning this fucking title. There's just
Right.
no way.
No way. Women's world title, Stephanie Vaquer, Liv Morgan. I think we're all in agreement. We're going with Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right. We've got the women's IC, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch. I'm kind of torn on this one. Part of me thinks AJ's going to take some time off after Mania, so
Right.
it goes back to Becky. But the other part of me says AJ gets a better run than that. So I'm kind of torn. At this very moment, I'm going to go with AJ Lee.
I'm going Becky.
I've been doing the same math you are in my head, Steve, about whether or not AJ is coming back to have a long run. Because I think it would be a great idea, especially if she is sticking around, for her to get a big win at WrestleMania, kind of cement, okay, she won the title in Chicago, but she won the rematch at WrestleMania. She's the champion, rightfully. Part of me thinks she's not going to stick around. Part of me thinks this might be the whole run, and she is going to take time off. So, heart goes with AJ, but I think logically my head says it's going to be Becky Lynch.
I mean, there you could also make a case that maybe the couple both go home without their gold.
That's true.
So, Tara's going with Liv Morgan. Okay, Women's Tag Championship. We've got Nia and Lash Legend versus Charlotte and Alexa versus Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, and as of right now, still the Bellas. So I would say,
Why as of right now? What do you mean?
well, because Nikki Bella is dealing with an ankle injury. But Michael Cole said that they are taking it day by day and they're still hopeful that she's going to be able to go. So the fact that they didn't replace them with a different tag team makes me think they're pretty confident she's going to be able to go. So,
Damn, that was a damper on my pick.
but my pick, I'm going to go, I think Nia and Lash retain the titles.
I was gonna say that it was the Bellas, because why are you having them back here? But with an injury, oh man, I mean, if it's with an injury, I would assume the same thing. I think they retain. Why take it off them if it's not going to be the Bellas taking it off them?
Yeah, and I'm reading right now that she was seen in a walking boot after the injury, and she's doing like physical therapy and rehab to try and be ready for it. So it seems like there's still a question mark, and I agree with that. Because we've been talking about this is another one we've been talking about for months. But like the Bella Twins are winning the women's tag team championships at WrestleMania. Pencil that one the fuck in. Like it was
Right.
definitely happening. And if they're still in the match, and she's good to go, it could still happen.
I guess, it's one of those things, too, because it's the Fatal 4-Way. They don't have to be pinned to lose the titles either.
Yeah, but if it ends up being so, what if they end up like the heels end up jumping the Bella Twins at the beginning of the match and knock them out, and then it's just a triple threat? Then,
But,
like,
well, and the other thing, too, is if, let's say they cleared Nikki, are they still confident that she's going to be good enough
Right.
to have a tag title run? Maybe we delay that, push that to Backlash, and have Nia and Lash keep it until, or something. So Tara will be very pissed off if the Bellas win. You might have your luck, because
I know, right?
it all depends on this ankle deal. Seth Rollins, Gunther, don't really give a shit, but I feel like I'm gonna go with Gunther.
Same. I think Gunther retains. Like we always say, right?
Well, there's no title there.
I mean, not retains. I'm sorry. Gunther will win because, like we always say, Rollins don't lose nothing losing. Gunther loses a lot of steam losing. So I think they want to keep Gunther hot.
And I hope so, but part of me is like the last, and this is the argument on both sides. The last two WrestleManias, Gunther got chumped out. He needs to win WrestleMania again.
Keep in mind, one of the reasons I also say that is, and I'm sorry, Vince.
No, go for it.
Is that I keep hearing rumors that Braun Breaker's already cleared and he's in the back roaming around. So I feel like he could be the person costing Rollins the match and letting Gunther go over, and then you have your next battle between those.
Well, wouldn't it make more sense if that's the case? You have Braun Breaker be the reason Punk loses.
No, because Seth's been taking out he's feuding with Division now.
Well, I know,
Like
but the title was always, I mean, before Braun got injured, Braun was going to be in that
Right.
world title picture with CM Punk. You know what I mean?
Fuck it.
So
cost them both.
you could have him. I was just going to say you could have him show up in both,
Yeah, fuck it.
make a massive impact, like just spear the shit out of everybody.
I didn't want to bring this up earlier because I thought it was too silly, but now that you've mentioned it, with Pat McAfee mentioning CM Punk and CM Punk mentioning Pat McAfee, I feel like there might be a storyline running throughout this WrestleMania of like the pieces coming together for a big faction, whether it's the reformation of the bloodline or whatever it is. Like The Rock coming back and being the head honcho of like all the stuff that you saw going on. The reveal at the end of the night is that The Rock was behind it all. I don't know. I just feel like.
So you think there's more than just McAfee involved? Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, that could be interesting, like a new NWO type of deal.
Right, and the other thing could be that Pat McAfee is underwhelming, and maybe they go, okay, well, we'll send him out first, and everybody's like, oh, it's Pat McAfee. But by the
Is
end of the night,
McAfee going to be our new Bischoff?
and that would be fine, I guess. But like,
You know,
it would be way more interesting if it turns out that Pat McAfee, who made a big speech about how he was leaving and the business passed him by and this, that, and the other thing, the story that comes out of it is that The Rock called him and was like, hey, I'll give you whatever you need. I'll give you the money. I'll put you in the main event. You know, all this stuff.
Oh,
I
that's
need
true.
you to come back. And then you've got this kind of like you said, almost like an NWO, but instead of an NWO, it's like the NWO was on the side of corporate, because it could be Braun, Randy, Roman, and the Usos, and just like a big, just your main event, like a main event mafia kind of thing.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to see. All right, so we got Cody, Randy. I'm going with Randy. I'm going with my heart. I want to see Randy get 15, so I'm going with Randy.
And it stinks that Cody has to lose two Manias in a row and lose.
And it's okay. He can take another loss.
Shawn Michaels has what, the most losses in Mania? He's still alive. He's
exactly.
On his career.
That's fair.
And I think it's just like I don't know, and I know they wanted the bigger match, but the way they've handled this singles match between the two of them has done nothing for me. And I would have much rather, even though they weren't going to win, I would have rather had a 4-way with those guys and just let all four, Jacob and Drew and Cody and Randy, and let them all slug it out. And then at the end, Randy hits an RKO or a punt and wins.
I agree. All right, so we're going over to night 2. Obafemi Brock. I said last week Brock. After this week, I think I'm switching. I'm going to Oba. I just don't. I'm at a point where I just don't see how you don't have him go over. So I'm changing my pick. I'm going over.
Yeah, but
Final
the only argument for Brock going over is that Oba has looked so strong the entire time.
That was my reasoning last week too, but
this week I'll agree with you, and I think my pick is Oba as well, because during his promo, Oba said something along the lines of, how did he put it? There's like a change. You can feel it. Like he was like letting the crowd know. He's like, things are changing. And maybe that was the speech to let them know, hey, this is the match where Brock puts me over and I'm the new big thing. So I'm going with Oba. I said at the beginning of the show, Oba should win the match. Oba should have every title on the main roster, Raw and SmackDown, and the women's titles. He's great. He should just be the guy.
and the women's titles.
I'm going with, surprise, surprise, the 2027 Royal Rumble winner, Obafemi.
That is a prediction, sir.
That is not a prediction. That is a spoiler, my friend. Thank you for the layup.
Well played. IC Championship, Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rey Mysterio, and the out-of-place Rusev in a ladder match. Who's taking the title? I'm going to say... part of me wants to say Penta's retaining, but you know what? It's WrestleMania. I'm saying Javon Evans is winning the IC Championship.
I'm
going with Javon Evans.
I'm going with the Javon too, man. I want that young boy to pop. The night will pop if he gets that title.
Right?
I would love to see it. Because that's the thing. In this match, I don't think there's a clear winner. However, I do know there's one loser, and that is Rusev. Because he looked hella strong in the going home party, in the going home show. So you know he's not winning.
I mean, but I would be okay if Penta retained.
I would be okay with two people, and the second one's going to shock you. So I would be okay with Javon or I'll be okay with Jay McDonald, Donald, whatever the fuck his name. I will be okay
Really?
with him.
Really?
Yes.
I am surprised.
Yes, I would.
Shocking.
I think he's a great worker, and he can sleaze his way out of having a title and bring a title to the Judgment Day. You know, like they title heaven. They like titles. I would be okay
I'm
with
shocked.
it. I think he's put his dues, and it'll be a good surprise. You don't got to have it long, but you know, give him his WrestleMania moment.
The only other name that you could have shocked me with is if you said, I want Austin Theory, who's not even in the match, to win the title. That's crazy.
Or
agree,
Grayson
JD.
Waller.
Right? Oh my God, that's wild. No,
That's
I don't
wild.
disagree.
I thought that was going to shock you.
He's not. a bad
I am
one.
shocked.
You're not wrong. He's not bad. It's just I don't.
It's
I don't
not
know.
happening.
With that lineup, and I'm looking at that night two. I feel like there should be a shitload of title changes on night two, but we'll get to that.
I think there should be shitload of title changes throughout the whole of Mania.
Well, Jade Cargill, Rhea for the women's title, I think is changing. I think Rhea gets the title back.
I think WWE dropped the ball on one thing. Like we said, right? We had Asuka, we had Tiffany Stratton, we have Io Sky. Not in a match. Why not a 4-way for the U.S. Women's Championship? Like, how do you not make that your 8th match? That's
You know what? That's a very fair point. Very fair
How
point.
do you not make that?
It makes no sense. But who's your pick for Jade Rhea? You gonna go with Rhea?
Oh yeah, 100%. Mommy's going over. Mommy's always on top for me.
All right, and then we got the U.S. Championship. Sami Zayn, Trick Williams. Really shocked that they haven't added Carmelo into the match, which I guess they still could on Friday if they wanted to. But the way it's booked, I mean, either way, even if you insert him, I'm going Trick Williams. I think that's another title that changes. Trick Williams is your U.S. champion.
I agree. The only asterisk I will give is it does seem like we are headed towards a Sami Zayn heel turn. So
Yeah,
maybe
I smell
Sami-
that coming too.
Sammy does something a little underhanded and sneaks away with the title, and Trick gets it down the line.
Or
That
or that match, it makes it a double turn. Sammy turns heel, Trick turns face, because I mean he's practically face anyway. I'm in the crowd.
Right.
He's so fucking over. Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I can't go against the Demon. Yeah, I gotta go with Finn Balor on this one.
He literally has to win.
Yeah.
A nice teaser video this week too, where you
Hopefully
just heard
that
the
match is
heartbeat.
at
And
night. I'm hoping that match is at least at night.
it has to be.
Like,
It has to be. You
Well, it's
you
the second
announced
last,
you're
yeah.
doing the Demon, then you have to have it late. You have to. It takes away from the entire experience if it's not at night. And finally, we got Punk Roman. I'm going Roman. Our tribal chief. I'm going
Yeah.
Roman.
I think so
Yeah.
too. Yeah. I mean, I just don't.
I want our tribal chief to win the title, and I want to see him back with the family, and I want a reunion of
all the bloodline,
the bloodline.
but all of them.
Solo too?
All of them.
Solo is already not getting along with.
Yeah, he's already having issues.
Yeah. And if it ends up being a setup that Roman's going to stay heel or be a heel, like I don't know, is Roman a heel right now? I don't know, but if he's going to be heel by the end of WrestleMania Night 2, then it would make sense that something happens with the Usos and LA Knight where they don't win, and then there's
This needs to be a face bloodline run.
ooh, okay.
It has to be a face bloodline run, in my opinion. We've already been there. We've already done that the heel way. Now we got to have a face one. And that doesn't mean that Roman still can't be Roman. Because, you know what I mean? Like, he can still be edgy, and the crowd is still going to treat them as, you know.
Let me float this one by you. One of the things, again, another internet conspiracy theory I've seen is CM Punk is headed for a heel turn.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest. Punk has always been a great heel.
Mm-hmm.
if this is going to be his final run,
Then
then I wouldn't be shocked that he wants to have a heel run included. So yeah, I could see that happening.
I would be. That's the only way I would be okay with Roman losing that night is if CM Punk turns heel, because then we have a new storyline per se. I would like that. It's the only way.
Yeah, it does add a little wrinkle. But the funny thing is when you say reuniting with the whole bloodline, if they're baby faces and Sami Zayn turns heel, then that's almost like a reversal of last time where they were heels and he was a baby face. Maybe they'll butt heads a little bit, and then by the end of it, they turn Sammy around and he comes back to the bloodline.
Yeah, that'll be a cool angle. Right.
Either way-
I doesn't want to be in it now.
Either way, what I will say, even though the build is what it was, I am excited. This is a stacked night 1 and 2 of Mania. I think it's going to be a great show. And happy WrestleMania week to all that celebrate.
Woo! Well, with all that being said, guys, remember, and we'll advertise it as well, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be live. Facebook and YouTube, and the podcast will follow shortly on the podcast apps. But we will be reviewing WrestleMania Night 1 and further previewing WrestleMania Night 2, WrestleMania Sunday. So check us out 1 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, check us out next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, for our full WrestleMania recap. We'll talk about Night 1 again, and of course, we'll talk about Night 2 and the fallout from Punk and Roman and everything else that may or may not happen this weekend. Man, 2 nights of WrestleMania. I still can't. It blows my mind that we're there. But we'll talk about it next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Tag Me A Date to get the stream. Go to Facebook.com, type Tag Me A Date in the search bar. Hit the thumbs up or the follow button. You can follow our page, and the live stream will show up in your newsfeed. Go to YouTube, type Tag Me A Date in the search bar. You'll find our channel. Hit subscribe and the notify button. You'll get a notification 30 minutes before we go live, and you can just tap it. And we'll be right there on your screen, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you follow us on social media, it is at Tag Me A Date, all one word, at Tag Me A Date. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter /X, and Instagram. If you follow us on TikTok, search for The War Report Podcast and hit the follow button. On social media, we post shorts and reels talking about, we take highlights from this show and we post them for the week leading up to Tuesday's broadcast. And last but not least, if you prefer an audio version instead of a video version of this podcast, you can go to your favorite podcast app, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Type in The War Report, type in Tag Me A Date. You'll see our logo, which is our background right now. You'll see our names in the description. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, and Steve or Ryan will grab that audio and throw it up between Tuesday and Wednesday. And as soon as it's uploaded, as long as you're subscribed, it just goes right to your phone or your tablet. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much, Tara and Thomas and David and everybody else that was in the chat tonight. We'll see you Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, WrestleMania recap. Have a great one.